All right, so here's a little math video. I'm gonna try it this way, but then I'm also gonna try recording it a different way and see which one's better. I'm just trying to bring this closer so you can see this better. All right, so we've already been talking about ratios. That's what you've been doing in Khan Academy, but I wanted to just review it a little bit, and then you're gonna have like a 4-question quiz. So a ratio can be written several different ways, 5 to 4. This is also spoken 5 to 4 or 5 to 4 this way. This is my favorite way because, like I've said a lot, my brain does math vertically. It just understands it better than when it's written this way. So however they write it is fine. If you're more comfortable with one way than another, you can write it that way. All right, let's look at this. So a ratio can compare a part to a part to the whole, or the whole to a part. The quantities in a ratio are sometimes called terms. So let's look at this example. So we have this picture of this quilt over here. Okay, imagine this is a quilt, a nice blanket you have at home. It says Erin is making a quilt for the craft fair. The quilt is made with 4 different fabric colors as shown in the picture, which I can see right here. Okay, 4 different colors. Complete the tape diagram to model the ratio of the number of blue squares to the number of white squares. So let's just count. I'm just gonna make a little list here. We have blue, green, white, and red. All right, let's count. 1, 2, 3. Green is 3, white is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and red is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, when I look at that picture, now I'm thinking, but do they mean squares in general, or are we talking about the different size squares? All right, so we're just gonna think about it like squares in general. So if it wants us to complete a tape diagram to model the ratio of number of blue squares to the number of white squares, so blue to white, however you wanna write it down, I usually do that, or you could do blue to white like this. So blue is 3 and white is 5. So for every 3 blue squares, there will be 5 white squares. All right, now for a tape diagram, let's see what they gave us here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna say that this is my blue, and I'm gonna color these the opposite way. These are my white. Okay, it's just another way to show it. Let me show you another example of a tape diagram over here. So this one has 2. They're comparing the number of black kittens to orange kittens. So you can see here, there are 4 black kittens for every 2 orange kittens. That way it makes more sense when there's 2 tape diagrams. All right, complete the statements to describe the ratio of blue squares to white squares. So again, it matters the order in which they say it. The order that they use the words is the same order they want the numbers. So blue to white. Blue we know is 3, so 3, and white is 5. So we could write it this way, we could write it this way, or we could write it this way. So for every 3 blue squares, there are 5 white squares. I'm just abbreviating squares, okay? Write a part to whole or whole to part comparison. So when it says something like this, a part is just one of these colors. Those are all parts of the quilt. So let's add those up to figure out the whole. So 3 and 3 make 6. 5 and 4 make 9. So we have 15 altogether. That's our whole. So part to whole, it might say, if I wrote the ratio 3 to 15, that would be, it could either be blue or green. So it could say 3 blue squares to the whole, which is 15. We could do it the other way. I could do 15 whole to part for every 4, okay? For every small green square, now we're getting into the size, there are 2 large green squares. So for 1 small, there are 2 large. I make my L like that so I don't mistake it for a 1. Does this mean that 1 out of every 2 green squares is small? Why or why not? What do you think about that? Does this mean that 1 out of every 2 green squares is small? Well, let's think about that. What if we had 4 smalls, and that would make 8 larges? So is every 1 out of 2 going to be small? Yes, because they're equivalent ratios. All right, let's see. I'm gonna give you a few more examples here. All right, we're only at 5 minutes. All right, so we have trail mix they're talking about. 3 ounces of peanuts, 6 ounces of cranberries, yum, 2 ounces of almonds, 2 ounces of raisins. I'm just gonna write these quantities off to the side. So 3 peanuts, 6 cranberries, 2 almonds, 2 raisins. Write each ratio 3 different ways. What is the ratio of ounces of peanuts to almonds? So they want peanuts to almonds. So peanuts is 3, almonds is 2. It's okay if the second quantity is smaller. I could also write that like this, or I could write it like this. That's what they want there, 3 different ways. What's the ratio of ounces of cranberries to trail mix? Okay, so I know the cranberries is just 6, but if once it compared to the entire trail mix, that's when you need to add everything together. So 3 and 6 make 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 ounces altogether, so 6 to 13. Okay, looking at it that way tells me that over half of it is just cranberries, so it's gonna be nice and sweet. All right, I'm gonna give you a few questions for your quiz. They're gonna look just like this, but they're gonna be in Canvas, so they'll look a little different, but I think you're gonna do great.